Now, we all have that one person in the family who's a little off. Maybe it's a weird cousin.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, Clark. You about ready to do some kissing? Huh?
Or maybe it's the aunt who has no filter.
Ian is a vegetarian. He doesn't eat meat.
He don't eat no meat?
No, he doesn't eat meat.
What do you mean he don't eat no meat?
Or maybe it's the inappropriate uncle who always says something crazy at dinner. And when he does, you just kind of ignore him. Crazy uncles, they're not really taken seriously. But I guess not everybody knows that, including top Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries. He is a crazy uncle, Leonard, who was a college professor and said some pretty wild stuff back in the 90s, like he claimed Jews got rich off the slave trade and plotted to keep black actors from Hollywood. And what did young Hakeem do about it? Well, he wrote an op-ed in college defending crazy Uncle Leonard. CNN dug it up. Here's a quote. Dr. Jeffries has challenged the existing white supremacist educational system and long-standing distortion of history. His reward has been a media lynching. But Hakeem didn't just defend Uncle Lenny. He also insulted black conservatives, saying this: the House blank of the slavery era and the black conservative of today are both opportunists interested in securing some measure of happiness for themselves within the existing social order. In both cases, the social order has blacks occupying the lowest societal echelon. Now, if we're playing by Democrat rules, Hakeem's toast. Doesn't matter if it's 30 years back. Remember Kavanaugh? They wanted him canned because of something he wrote in the yearbook. But young Hakeem defends attacks on Jews and black conservatives? Nothing. Listen to this. He wasn't just backing up family. He also defended Farrakhan. Hakeem couldn't understand what was so controversial about Farrakhan. You be the judge.
The satanic Jews that control everything and mostly everybody. There were many Israelis and Zionist Jews in key roles in the 9/11 attacks. See, the Jews have control over those agencies of government. The powerful Jews are my enemy.
Whoa. What is it with Democrats and that guy? Remember this? Obama and Farrakhan rubbing elbows? All smiles? Listen, you don't want to associate yourself with Farrakhan. You don't want to defend Farrakhan. That's a mistake that young Hakeem made. We all make mistakes, right? And now he's done a total 180, and he's falsely accusing Republicans of banning books about what? The Holocaust.
But what we don't want is the extreme MAGA Republicans trying to tell the parents of America how to educate their children, how to raise their children. Extreme MAGA Republicans don't want the children of America to learn about the Holocaust.
No, Hakeem, that's what your uncle wants, not Republicans. Horace Cooper is the chairman of Project 21 and author of Put Y'all Back in Chains. All right, let me play devil's advocate here, Horace. He's, 21 years old, it's family, he says crazy stuff in college. Are you going to give him a pass or not?
Well, look, our group put a statement out. I recognize that the comments that he made while he was in college. But my concern is that these comments appear to reflect an idea that conservatism is not something that is familiar to Black America. I mean, you got to look at people like Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Booker T. Washington, not just Clarence Thomas today, not just Thomas Sowell. There are a legion of Black Americans that have supported freedom, supported small government, personal responsibility. In fact, when you ask Black Americans some basic questions about faith, family, and responsibility, what you see is that Black Americans are actually more conservative than Americans at whole. shame on him for saying these things then, but for definitely not for clearing it up today.
So we haven't seen any statement that the ADL put out. We haven't seen a lot of coverage. And to CNN's credit, they're the ones who broke this. But, you know, looks like it's just going to get swept under the rug. Why is this getting swept under the rug? And Kavanaugh says he liked beer in college, and they wanted him kicked out.
Okay, well, let me just say this first of all. The segments that you just showed of Farrakhan help remind Americans what hate and bigotry actually look like.
Good point.
The so-called MAGA Republicans have nothing like this kind of hatred and this kind of hostility. Secondly, shame on the mainstream media for not pointing out when he got named minority leader, oh, by the way, just want to ask a couple of questions. What about what you said then? If you looked at Republicans, not just Kavanaugh, but other people who are conservatives, we had to go all the way back to the 50s to have them answer questions about what they thought. I'm just willing to let people look and answer about what they think today. Hakeem Jeffries, Black American conservatism is critical. It's a critical part of America, just like conservatism is a critical part of America.
All right. Well, I'm just glad I never wrote any op-eds when I was in college. Did not participate in the school paper, Horace.
I wrote many.
Well, I'm sure you did. You're a lot more intelligent than I. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Good evening.